I know what I can bring, and I know what I still can do and what I still have. So my confidence from that standpoint, yeah, I always have to say, yeah, I don't want to come off the bench. But knowing that ahead of time and having those conversations and going game to game and understanding, okay, we might need you to do this tonight, we might need you to do that tonight. I have a clearer understanding of what my role is.
The Lakers are looking for players to sign and have come across two dreaded names, Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith. People are quick to dismiss both of these players, but they can actually help the Lakers win, and here's why. What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. The Lakers have freed up cap space for a max free agent, but even then, they're gonna need guys who are willing to sign for the veterans minimum, and two names have popped up, Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith. Yeah, that J.R. Smith. But both of them can actually help LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kyle Kuzma and the Lakers win a championship. So let's break all of that down. I'm gonna be going to VidCon, so let me know if you're gonna be there or if you wanna do a meet and greet in LA on July 14th. And to the 80% that watch my videos that still aren't subscribed, don't hesitate to pull the trigger like Carmelo and please subscribe! In order to see how Carmelo and JR can actually help the Lakers, we have to first look at what they've done, their most recent outings, and then fit them in with the rest of the three Lakers to see how they actually help. Both of these players have had bad perceptions on their current skills and the mental part of the game. Let's start with Carmelo. I know it seems like Carmelo hasn't played basketball in forever, but he did play 10 games with the Rockets just last season in 2018, averaging 13.4 points, 5.4 rebounds a game, shooting 41% from the field and 33% from 3, along with 68% from the free throw line in 29.4 minutes a game. Those numbers scream inefficiency. You must be thinking it's crazy to think that Melo could help, but keep in mind that Melo was on a new team with the Rockets, with new teammates that he has never been with, in a system that is radical and, again, completely new. Not being great in 10 games isn't the best way to analyze what Melo was. Look at Eric Gordon in his first 10 games this season. He averaged 14.8 points on 32% from the field and 24% from 3. Just wow. Instead, I think it's really important to look at something that I haven't seen Carmelo do his whole career, and that is adjust his game. Carmelo is notoriously known for being stubborn, for being selfish, and trying to win his way no matter what. We saw that in Denver and on the Knicks when he was the main man, and a little bit of that in OKC. On the Rockets, Melo took a career high 6.4 threes a game despite taking a career low 12.1 shots a game. Yes, Carmelo, the mid-range assassin, the jab step extraordinaire, reduced the amount of twos he took to only 5.7 a game. And in case you've forgotten about Carmelo, look at those jab steps. He committed to the Rockets' system of abolishing long twos and taking threes. He came off of the bench instead of being stubborn to start. The stigma with Carmelo is bad because he didn't age like LeBron or Kobe, who at the age of 33 and 34 were still averaging 27 plus points a game. Melo aged like a normal player whose peak was from 2012 to 2014 at the age of 28 and 29. Melo has always averaged 20 plus points per season except for his season on the Rockets and last season in 10 games with Houston. And in the 2013-2014 season, he shot 45% from the field and 40% from 3, shooting 21.3 shots a game and 5.4 threes a game, averaging 28.7 points a game. Yeah, he could shoot the ball, but obviously as he ages, he won't be that same star player. That doesn't mean that he can't give you some points off the bench as a role player. Yeah, the Rockets were 4-6 in those games, but the Rockets were without their defensive coordinator in Jeff Bzdelik, who is responsible for the Rockets' defensive schemes, which made them so good the season before. Also, consider the fact that Melo in his time with the Rockets had up and down games, dropping 28 points on the Nets in a win against the Nets, or dropping 2 in a loss against the Thunder. That was a bad game. And I mean really bad game. Melo was the main subject to blame when the Thunder lost against the Jazz in the 2018 playoffs, saying he disrupted team chemistry, was a defensive liability, and wasn't good in the playoffs. The Thunder lost this year in the first round too, without Melo, for similar reasons of not being united as a team and just not being good in the playoffs. I'm not saying Melo played well, because he didn't, but that's because he was being used as a third option and not being utilized by Billy Donovan, who hasn't shown much as a coach besides letting Russ and PG just run a two-man show, with Steven Adams being the defensive rebounding big man. It's easy to blame Melo for all these things, but you need to add context. Will Melo be that guy we saw in New York? Heck no, it's crazy to expect that, but we saw that Melo was willing to adjust his game and recognize he isn't that star player anymore. On top of that, in terms of actual basketball skill, Melo at least proved that he could be a catch and shoot player. Over 50% of Carmelo's shots came with 0 dribbles, meaning that he wasn't holding onto the ball and isolating, he's actually just taking the shot or passing it up. That's up from his last year that he spent on the Knicks, when that number was 40% of his shots with 0 dribbles on way more shots. A lot of those looks came on threes in rhythm as he trailed the play. Carmelo likes to grab the rebound, pass it to the point guard, and then trail the play and then kind of catch the pass from the point guard while trailing the play, allowing him to shoot a 3 straight on. He can also heat up and be a spark that could drop buckets in a hurry, an X factor of sorts. His defense won't be great, but for a veteran's minimum, you're not going to get everything, and a guy who can drop 25 on a given night is really good for the minimum. J.R. Smith is much easier to break down in terms of basketball skill because he's a streaky shooter that can give you defensive effort and some three-point shooting. Like Carmelo, J.R. only played 11 games in the 2018-2019 season, but instead of looking at what he did in 11 games without LeBron, let's look at his body of work with LeBron. In his time with the Cavs with LeBron, JR has averaged 10.5 points, shooting 38% from 3. With JR, you're getting a competent knockdown shooter that when hot could light the place up, make contested shot after contested shot. We have seen it throughout his time with LeBron that JR takes a shot at the end of the shot clock and just makes some crazy shot. We have also seen J.R. Smith miss open shots, go cold, and just do some really dumb stuff. Still, he can handle the ball, and as a role player for the veterans minimum, he has some major offensive upside. I think what isn't talked about enough about JR is his defense. When JR is matched up with opposing star players, he does an amazing job at making it extremely tough for that player. He has pretty good lateral quickness and steps up to the challenge, staying mentally locked in. He has gone against Paul George and DeMar DeRozan as the primary defender on them in the playoffs. He defends well on ball, oftentimes keeping all-star caliber players in front of him and containing them. Don't forget that J.R. Smith has also been to 4 NBA finals, so he has seen a lot of defenses and offenses in the playoffs. What J.R. struggles with is off-ball defense, as he has mental lapses and lacks peripheral vision to know screens. He gets caught ball looking instead of staying with his man. J.R. on the Cavs was the 4th option behind LeBron, Irving, and Love, and didn't get in the way of that. That 2015-2016 Cavs was one of the best teams in NBA history. We forget how dominant that Cavs team was offensively because of how historically dominant the Warriors were that same season. And J.R. Smith added on to their dominance at times, but never took away from it. In the 2015 playoffs, he shot 43% from 3, and in the 2016 playoffs, he shot 50% from 3. I mean, that's just knockdown shooting. As a role player playing alongside LeBron, he fit in. If LeBron is okay with JR joining the Lakers and has psychologically moved on from the 2018 NBA Finals, he broke his hand, then J.R. Smith is a wingman that is used to playing alongside big stars and still satisfying his role. The main thing to understand is that these two players aren't getting huge roles like they would have in their primes. They're coming to be the 5th or 6th or even 7th offensive options, come off the bench and hold it down when the stars go to the bench. Now, LeBron and AD will probably have staggered rotations, meaning that there will be at least one star on the floor at all times. Don't forget about Kuzma either. He can also get hot in a hurry, but has shown that he can consistently give you 15 points a night. Like I have said in my video about 5 free agents the Lakers should sign with their $24 million cap space that they had previously, LeBron and AD most need 3-and-D guys, one more playmaker for when Bron goes to the bench, and then some X factors. Carmelo and JR are no longer those players they once were, but they can act as floor spacers. Carmelo has shown willingness to defer to the star on the floor, and without the star, try to step up into the offense. JR will be the floor spacer at the 2, but as a guy coming off the bench, he can also step into that spot of defending star guards. I have said this over and over again, star players perform in the playoffs and you know what you're getting from them, but it's the other guys, the third option or that 7th player on the bench. It's those guys who have an unexpected contribution that takes a team over the hump. We saw how contributions from Danny Green and Fred VanVleet led to important wins against the Warriors, and that's exactly why Carmelo and JR are valuable, because they aren't relied on to do anything offensively, and their floor spacing is enough to not take anything away from what the Lakers would be. These two aren't even using up the cap space, there are literally veteran minimums. Because LeBron and AD will draw in a lot of defense, Melo and JR will get good looks. JR has done well as a 6-man off the bench, and in this system he wouldn't even be the 6-man. Carmelo is a small forward that can also play a stretch forward, meaning he gives some flexibility. Whether you want to run a big lineup with Carmelo at the 3, AD at the 4, and a 5 center, or you want to run some small ball with LeBron at the 3, Carmelo at the 4, and an AD at the 5, you have a lot of options. Melo can also lead the second unit when it's all bench players. You need a scorer on that bench that can ISO and create for himself while also being able to kick to the open man. If Kuzma is a starter and somehow Kuz, Bron, AD are on the bench for a time period, or if it's Kuz and Melo on the floor, you don't lose out on offense. In terms of the locker room, JR hasn't really been a locker room problem when LeBron was there. He was more of a vocal person when LeBron left. LeBron always brings the drama, and we'll see this year. Melo has always been very vocal, but with the Rockets last year, he kinda just took the blame or whatever came his way. So do I think Melo and JR can help the Lakers? Absolutely. And if you're getting them for veteran minimums, the downside is that you're getting 2 guys who can't buy a shot. But that's most veteran minimums, and you aren't even expecting them to contribute too much to the offense. The upside, they could lead the second unit for a few nights, maybe even 3 or 4 games in the playoffs, just getting on fire, and I would take that any day of the week. But what do you think? Should the Lakers sign another max free agent? What about Carmelo and JR? Drop a like for Carmelo and JR, cause come on, you know you secretly love them. I'm streaming tonight on Twitch with the Galaxy Opal Shaq, who has a 93-pointer. Yeah, I see all of you guys with the crazy support commenting Bull Durant, and you the real ones for that. And if you're still here, comment contested shots so I know. And also let me know if you want to do a meetup in LA on July 14th, and then maybe one in New York City. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Mackenzie, and the all-day notification shout goes to SP Boy. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to bell for all the notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button, join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.
Okay, just hop in my spaceship now.